Welcome, everybody, to our podcast, Unconventional Wisdom, the CSE/Macro Moment Trading Investment Podcast. And this is Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Time. Appreciate you being here. Tony will not be able to be here today, but we do have Micah, and we have myself, we have Keith, and we have Randy. And so we're going to have us a good little session today. We just got off of, by the way, if you want to type in a question or comment, Michael, why don't you tell me real quick how to do that?
Yeah, so you can go on YouTube. I believe it's the only place we're streaming now. We're going to go to Facebook Live soon. But where you're watching, you can just type in a comment to the standard comment box. It's going to give Marcus the ability to see them all and display them in real time. So we'll be able to answer them right when you type them in. And you can do that from any comment section that you're looking at.
Okay, and also you can go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, or you can still go to the compound stock earnings side. They're both the exact same. And you can sign up for our cow report that goes out each Friday in the afternoon. And it's always dated Saturday. It's been published now for around 20 years. And it's always got comments from everybody that's at some point in time that's client inspired. It's got all our events coming up, our seminars, seminars, and things that he does. You can sign up for them on that website. And it's totally free. And just sign up for it. It's just called the Cow Report. Just go and sign up for the Cow Report. It's free. We have had a good day today. Well, we've had a real slow week with our micro moment trading. And Micah can talk about that. We had today is real funny. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were all profitable days. We had very little volume. And they got real lazy. Those two guys got real lazy today. It was just blowing up over, and they was too fast for them. They were out of shape.
Yep.
They only got in 2 or 3 trades, but we're up 40-something% for the week, 6.56 today, and whatever the rest of it, about 41%, which isn't a bad week so far. Still got tomorrow to go. And we start off with Randy. Randy, how is your week gone, and what's going on over there with you?
Week is going good. Just got back from a trip to Disney World in Florida.
Oh yeah.
My grandmother was down there competing in the nationals for the Pop Warner cheerleading competition, and her team took third place out of the entire country. So they did real good. So we got to go on a bunch of rides, and we get the grandkids all weekend. But that didn't stop me from being able to trade. That's the one nice thing about whether you're doing micro moment trading or credit spreads or covered calls. As long as you have internet access and a laptop or an iPad or a smartphone, you can do your trading, and you can do it whatever time that you want to spend with it. It's not doesn't have to be like every minute of every day. And so you can still generate your income. And so we did the advanced starting coaching webinar this week. And because the market was down on Monday, there wasn't any positions that were getting ready to get into a new rising cycle. Now, of course, anything that you had at the opening of today would be fantastic, because after President Trump's tweet, the market just totally reversed and just shot up. And so those are just things that happen. But every Monday morning we have the Advanced Charting Platinum Coaching webinar live in the market. And the Advanced Charting is a proprietary compound stock earnings charting package that puts together, I think there's about 21 different technical indicators all into one screen that makes it very easy to analyze the trends and the cycles of the individual equities. And so we teach how to read that, and it's useful for any type of trading that you're doing, any type of trading. And so that's on Monday mornings. And those sessions are live in the market, but also recorded so that you can watch them later on if you're not able to be there live in the market. And you can take advantage of that teaching. Then on Wednesday mornings, except for this week, I moved it to actually just after this podcast, I'll be doing the Covered Call Platinum coaching webinar. And that's where we learn how to implement and manage covered calls. And a covered call is simply buying a stock and selling a call against it. And we sell in the money calls so that you can generate weekly cash income and be a more conservative position. So the market can actually go down and you can still get called out, get all your cash back, and keep the profit that you generated. And last week, the ones that were closed out, Qualcomm, 34.2%. That was 10 days of investment. Typically, I'm only in 3 or 4 days, but sometimes, and Joe talks about our management, that if the market goes the opposite direction than what we expected, we have management techniques. Those are processes that we put into place to continually generate income while managing that position until it gets back up to be closed out for all the capital to be returned. And that was implemented on Qualcomm because Qualcomm was in a rising cycle and all of a sudden it took a dip, but still generated 34.2% of income and all the capital returned after 10 days. Amazon 28.2% for 1 day, Disney 17.6% for 1 day, Restoration Hardware 21.9% for 4 days, Home Depot 7.9% for 4 days, and Macy's 17.0% for 4 days. So those were last week's positions. And this week, we have so far all of the new positions are in the money, and depending on what happens for the rest of the day and tomorrow, those should all close out for great returns and return of all capital, so that at the end of the week, basically back to cash. And so whatever happens over the weekend, and this is a big weekend coming up, we know, the 15th is when the new tariffs on China are supposed to go into place. And that was the whole thing about the tweet today about, hey, we're getting a great deal. So who knows what that's going to be, but the market will have a reaction on Monday. So be ready for that.
I thought you were referring to the fact that I'm doing the 2-day covered call seminar this weekend.
Well, that's in addition to that, Joe. I mean, that's definitely going to be moving the market when Joe teaches the full 2-day seminar on the compound stock earnings covered call techniques, and that gives you the basis of generating not only monthly income, which is how we started way back in 2006 when I first took that seminar from Joe, but now with all the weekly options, you can generate weekly income and be in the market a lot less exposure than being in for a whole month. So Joe's teaching that this weekend. So go to the website and you can register for that and start your investing for weekly and monthly income journey.
Okay. The other thing that Randy's technique is good for, if you have existing stocks and if they pay dividends, and he's got a fantastic way to increase by selling a monthly or weekly out of the money call that's above what you paid for the stock or above what the stock's going for in the market at that time. And if you get called out, then you make the profit. If you don't get called out, you keep the premium anyhow. And many times that's going to be a substantial percentage on a weekly or monthly basis versus just getting a 3 or 4% dividend payment over the course of a year. Great way if you don't want to get rid of them. You don't want to put them at risk of losing money on them or doing anything else. You can just sell those monthly out of the money calls. And there's a comment, let's see, by Frank. Could you guys talk about what news sources are important to monitor so we might be able to assess how much of a move might take place? Why don't you talk about that, Micah? And we'll see.
Yeah, I was actually on a little rant before we started up the video broadcast here. But, this may be an unpopular opinion, especially among the financial world, because they want you to go to Bloomberg and CNBC. And, well, there's nothing wrong with having those up because the way, Randy was talking about computer trading, all the programmatic and algorithms that are happening, it happens so fast. that you need to be on the way that the world works, so to speak. I ranted like probably 3 weeks ago, maybe more, honestly, probably a couple months ago. We were in a super volatile time. It was right when the whole China trade deal started, all of that. And I just about yelled at our clients saying, get on Twitter. If you don't have one, make one. Follow Trump and alert every tweet that he sends out. Like we live in social media, right? Our president is tweeting on social media, and we see 200 to 300 points change every time that happens. That's nothing like that has ever happened in the history of the stock market, right? We're in such a different time that we have to respond differently. And I think, honestly, Twitter is one of the fastest ways to do that. So today I looked down, I had my phone on silent, so it was my mistake, but I saw it blowing up and I was like, this looks like a news move. Okay, keeps moving. This is definitely news. I looked down at my phone and I have a 2-minute-old tweet from Trump. I wonder if it's still up there. No, I cleared it. A 2-minute-old tweet from Trump talking about how China is ready to make a deal. And that was 2 minutes ago. Had I seen that before, I would have been ready for it. So, I mean, the best thing about all of this is, Joe talks about this all the time, we don't care which way it moves. If it's moving big in either direction, that's good for us. And we actually discourage people paying too much attention to the news, because by then you'll just be like everyone else in the market. All the other 90% that lose money, because you'll see a news alert and you'll perceive it a certain way and make a bet on it and just go right into gambling. So you don't want to pay too much attention to the news. And really, in these days, like at least immediately, I think Trump tweets are the only thing that have any effect. Otherwise, you can get it from Yahoo, CNBC, but you're going to be behind the computers like everyone else is. You can't compete with the programmatic learning. So, why try to compete with them? Why not just see what moves they're creating via momentum, via the charts, and try to tag onto those? Catch that momentum for yourself.
Okay, is that your brief answer?
Yes, that's the brief one.
Okay. We have Larry M. here. I've been reading the book Covered Calls and Leaps. Anyone using or teaching the leaps technique? Yes, in fact, I do that, and Randy does that. And Randy, you teach leap technique, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and now, of course, Joe, that the book was written before there was even weekly options, and so now, really, in the Covered Call Platinum service, which is like taking the book to a new level, is building upon everything that Joe teaches in the 2-day seminar, and it uses synthetic covered calls. Instead of buying the stock, we teach how to buy an option that then can have weekly options sold against it to generate income. So it kind of replaces the old leaps technique, which was the leveraged technique that was available back when there was only monthly options. And now that there's weekly options, we can get in and out of positions in a week and just use a call option to cover the short selling, which is kind of what the leaps does. But this is a faster process, and it allows for the stock to go up or down and still have that great weekly income.
Yeah. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So come to the Covered Call Platinum service, and you'll learn how to do that.
Yeah, and we'll be teaching that technique this weekend, our 2-day Covered Call seminar. But the other neat thing about the leaps is it gives you infinite leverage without borrowing or using any margin. Margin's a killer when you're doing covered calls. You never want to use it whatsoever. But you get much better with margin because you're not getting a loan, you're not paying any interest, and you have probably 95% financing, equivalent of financing, by doing the leap, which is a few bucks, maybe instead of 25 or 30 bucks for the stock or whatever. So it's just really, really a great technique. And by the way, you can still buy that book. You can buy it, bookstores, but you can buy it, an ebook now from Wiley, the publisher, on Amazon. It costs substantially less than the book, and also the charting book you can get as an ebook. Okay, excuse me. We're going to go to Keith now. Keith is no longer doing the credit spreads because that credit spread just got to where there wasn't anything going on. So he's coming up with a new technique. So I kind of invited him today because he has such a good perspective on all this stuff that we do. He's also, I know, been paying a lot of attention to the micro moment trading and get his thoughts on how that's working out. Because this could be a good lesson from Keith because he's just started really kind of doing that like other people that subscribe to that service. And Keith, what's your thinking on that, and how's it working for you?
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. I've been following Micah and Tony on the micro moment trading, and been doing it probably now for about 2.5 weeks. And last week I didn't get any trades. The charts were very slow, and even when you did get some moves, there just wasn't much volume there to move the option prices, and that's similar to what happened yesterday. There were a couple places that after you guys signed off, it's like, this is great. The tick is moving and everything, and the option prices just weren't moving, just not at all. So, and unfortunately I didn't get in on the quick one this morning on that, but it's been doing some trading. I'm actually starting to trade with just a few contracts now to get used to my platform, which I haven't done with fast trading before. So it's a learning experience, but I'm excited about it. I think it's a good way to go. Still doing some testing on some of those other techniques that I had been looking at with the Platinum service, and we'll see how those go too. But the charts, I think Randy talked about, the charts are just so valuable for really any kind of trading you're doing. And with the slightly longer momentum trades, I still love the CSM charts, the credit spread momentum charts. So I'm still using those absolutely every day, and doing a lot of trading. One other thing I will say that I did listen in on the Friday's podcast with Tony and Micah, and it was an absolutely outstanding one with respect to the psychology of trading and everything. And you can teach an old dog new tricks, and I learned some things on that too. So Mike and Tony did excellent job on that, and particularly with the chiming in from a couple of your clients on that, it was very worthwhile to listen to. And if you get a chance, I think that was recorded. Definitely worth tuning back in to listen on that.
Yeah, Mike is our resident in-house trading shrink, and he compares a lot of things to your body and to your mind, the size of your ears, all kinds of things. And he's personally involved in trades, like sometimes they just get tired of him. A trade gets tired of it or something like that. I don't know. He uses all kinds of. What are some of those words you use? You keep inventing words for us.
No, we got a dictionary rolling by now. No, I agree with you, Keith. Friday was. I've never stepped away from a webinar like I did on Friday and just felt like that was killer. Like that was oh my God. And we had like 4 people. I think we were up to like 3 or 4 people, clients that we unmuted. On Fridays, for those of you that don't know, we do it happy hands up, still name pending. But we're able to unmute our clients and they can talk to us, and we just had a full on conversation about all sorts of things. And it was a really, really great thing.
That'll be tomorrow again. And we also discovered that we could have unmute a couple people at a time, and maybe we can do 3 or 4. I don't know. But we were doing 2 people plus ourselves, and so we had a lot of talk and a lot of stuff going on, and so it was. We'll do it tomorrow. So we'll do it tomorrow. We call it Happy Friday. Anyway, here's Brian. Brian says, "What strategy would be good if you have a 9-to-5 job? You cannot micro moment trade. I have experience with options, not a newbie." We partially answer that, then I'll give it back to whoever else wants to answer it. If you have a 9-to-5 job, it's really a great technique because the market opens at 8:30, so I don't know what that time zone you're in. But these guys are usually pretty much through by 9 o'clock Central Time. When that's 30 minutes into the market, you can get a trade or 2 in there. It's really a good technique for that. And depending on your time zone, that would be perfect for you because you're right when the market opens. It's when they do most of their trades. and you can be gone and you're out, and not have anything you're holding overnight or doing anything with. What do you think about that, Micah?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it depends on the time zone, but as far as, time commitment, there's also the factor of when you're holding positions, it's less for us because we have, Randy has management techniques and things like that. But the standard trader, they're in the market at all times and they're subject to craziness. The really nice thing about micro moment or having a management technique is it doesn't matter. I like being able to step away from the computer the rest of my day. I don't have any trades open. I don't need to look at my phone for the market. I can be, focused on other things. So, if you want to be at your job and not, having to sneak to your phone and check what the Dow's at and all that, it's nice to be completely removed after the first, 30 minutes of the market. And you can still do the same or better returns. Well, a lot better than standard investors, do for sure, just buying blue chips and, buying and selling Apple and Amazon, like most people decide is a good strategy. So, yeah.
The thing is, if you're living in a time zone that it wouldn't work that way, then you need to consider changing time zones, because the money you make on micro moment would certainly justify the move, probably.
Also, Joe, that covered calls are the perfect thing for if you can't look at the market at all during the daytime. Covered calls can still be managed, implemented, found in the evening, and then you place your order and you wait till the next day. So that's how we all started, was way back when.
Yeah.
We're working full-time jobs and just using covered calls at night.
And they've gotten so much better because things have gotten. We'll get to Frank's question here in just a sec. Things have gotten so much better, trade platform wise, commission wise, and but Randy has a technique where you never take a loss on a stock, you never take a loss on a position. Whatever you got in, let's say you got in for 5%. Well, you're never going to get less than that, no matter which direction the stock goes, because he has the management tools to do that, and that's what we'll be covering this weekend in the seminar. You have the management tools. Tony and Micah don't have management tools for the micro moment. They have nothing to protect them. So it's how quick you get in and how quick you get out. Like Tony got out of a couple positions today. One minor loss, I think one about break even. And that's what you're supposed to do. And then they turned around and really went up if it stayed in. But also they could have gone really down. So and you have no defense in micro moment. So you have to get out fast. That's what you learn. That's what these guys do. Really good at it. Where Randy, like I say, you can do it after hours. You can put in orders on the weekend. You can do all kinds of stuff because you got the management tools. So,
and Joe, I also do trade the moment or micro moment. In fact, 8 minutes before we started the podcast, I use SPX because I'm in for a little bit longer term, but 2.3% in 58 seconds before we got on the podcast, and then while you and Micah were just talking, another 2.3% in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So that's the type of thing that our charts allow to be done. That even if it's your lunchtime or you have an afternoon morning break, you can still do micro moment because it doesn't take that long to look at the charts, analyze them, wait for the right trend setup, and then you're in and out in minutes or seconds sometimes with Tony and Micah.
So you're kind of like bipolar. You're doing both of them, right?
I do everything.
Okay. Frank asked, I haven't seen any micro moment trading webinar videos on YouTube that aren't older than late September. Have you stopped posting the newer ones? We have been remiss in not posting them. To answer your question, Frank, we should be posting. I'll take that and make sure that we do post more of them. You're going to get so many on there. I didn't know this, but you're going to get so many on there. We can take the old ones off and add the new ones, but it doesn't cost anything good. They only allow you so many. And I know that Micah and Sue-Ann, everybody's been working pretty diligently on this social media stuff, and so probably we need to get Sue-Ann to post something every day on that. Maybe take an old one off and put a new one on. Just really work to it before she gets it on there. But yeah, we'll follow up on that. So now, Keith, you you will after you kind of dismissed your credit spread stuff. You were working on a new technique. Are you still doing that?
Yes, I am definitely testing that, Joe. Yep.
Okay, good. So he'll probably be coming back with that technique. It's supposed to be kind of give us a little vague background on that.
Yeah, it's similar to the credit spread momentum technique that I was using before, but I'm going further out in time now. And question is trying to find the optimum time to go out. Usually I was trying to do like 6 weeks to a month, and that wasn't enough. So I'm looking at 2 to 3 months now going out, and yeah, it does move things around quick, like when you get a tweet from the president like this morning. But generally speaking, you still have some time to adjust, and it isn't a killer if that I found, because even when I was holding some of those trades, you got an announcement that was moving the market quite a bit. In short term, option prices were going crazy on that, but the longer term ones were just sort of okay. It moved a little bit, and then so you've got time to recover on that, which most recently is okay. It's up strong today. It's going to be down strong tomorrow. So it's been that cycle in there, and it allows you to compensate for that, and seems to be a little bit better. So that's what it is.
Great.
I'll keep you up to date on that.
Okay, I appreciate it. I just thought, going back to Frank's question about the videos, it just dawned on me. Sometimes we forget to record those. And I think we did record Friday's session. If we recorded Friday's session, then Sue Ann's got it over there in her computer. And if she doesn't, I don't know if I did or not. But if we did, we will get that one up there, because that'd be a good one. That's where we had all the conversations going back with back and forth with our clients. So I'll check with her later on and see if we have that one. And then
how are our profits for that day? Did we make a lot of trades on Friday, or
that Friday? Let's see what that was. Friday. Let me go back here. That would have been. Let's see. What is today? Today is the 12th, right?
12th, yeah.
Okay.
Friday is the 6th. No. Yeah.
Friday's the 6th. Yeah, we did 21.94%.
Okay, that's probably worth putting up, because I was thinking like we could just cut off that last portion if we didn't really make many trades.
Yeah. No, we had 5 trades. We had one was even, no losses. But this is where you burn out. You got those huge that 8%, 8.33% on an Apple trade, that 10% on an Apple trade, and that got us up to 21%.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because we had 2 even trades. We had one 3.61%. That was the first trade. Then we had 2 break-even trades. Then we had the 8.33 and the 10, and that's why it's only 21, even with those 2 big huge trades in there. So, but we had averaged for that was the last day of the 31st week, and we'd averaged 129.29% for each day over all those weeks. And that particular week, we ended up on Friday. We ended up 133.28, so it was a good week, huge week. Versus this week, it's going to be a little lower simply because the volume hadn't been there. So so it's good. 6.56 today. Anyhow. But anyhow, Larry, is there still an MMT Facebook group in the works? Yes, there is. Why don't you talk about that? Then we'll get to Ken.
We are going to do something like that. We want to keep it out of the chat room environment, though. That can be really toxic and very, speculation based, and everybody can start coming in there with their opinions and trying to teach everyone. And we want to kind of control the narrative and be able to teach people, the foundational things in the right way, and not have them, the beginners start trying to teach everyone else and things like that. So we want to be careful about how we do that, and we're not quite sure, but we are going to have some version of a community platform for sure.
Okay, this is from Ken. If my covered calls expire the money on the 20th, my E-Trade account will have enough so I can do MMT. Maybe after the holidays. That's good, Ken. You'll enjoy it. I mean, these, it's an exciting technique, and just as Randy's and as Keith used to be, until they kind of just the technique just kind of got stretched out, and it was hard to get any good trades. So, but we've got him back now as using his great wisdom, his covered call wisdom. Plus, he has on a red sweater. He still got.
Yeah, I thought that's why you brought me back, for the nice red sweater.
Yeah. Well, he'll always come to our events we have, and we're going to be having the first seminars for Micro Moment, the second seminar for Micro Moment in March, around the 22nd, something like that. We're working on it. And we're going to have a master's class also in March, I think. That's where we have people that have clients that have excelled in some particular aspects. There'll be somebody at Randy's Covered Calls and Micro Moment, so on and so forth. And Saturday and Sunday thing, we have a big cocktail party on Friday night that we pay for. And Keith usually wears his dress for that. And then we have, what do you call that? No, it's not a dress. I'm sorry, I always insult you about that. What is it? Kilts?
It's kilt.
Yeah, okay. And then we have a seminar Saturday and Sunday, and we pay for a big dinner Friday night. It's a really, really nice seminar called Master's Class, and our clients actually teach it. So, and we're getting some really good clients, really good traders in that Micro Moment stuff. That certainly, maybe we can get them on there. Maybe get them on here sometime. So, I talked to Randy about not Randy, but not Randy, not Keith, our engineer, Marcus. So, okay. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Do we have any final questions by anybody? Comments, questions, or anything?
Nope, we got them all.
Okay, there he is, our silent man in the back.
Right.
Where's your band playing? Anywhere?
We are playing at Lava Cantina on December 28th.
Okay. You want Micah to come to town and sing karaoke for you?
Absolutely. We sent him a request. Haven't heard from him. I think his agent was supposed to be in touch with us.
I got a lot to do, man. I got a lot booked.
Micah attended a cruise of ours down in the Caribbean a long time ago, years ago, and he won the second place on the karaoke contest. Let me see if this is Sue-Ann's. Yeah,
It was rigged. That Michael was the best of the two. Also,
I'm sorry.
I said it was rigged. Micah should have won. He was the best.
Yeah, Randy would suggest here maybe we might talk to a gentleman named Sam, who we know, and for the Masters tournament. That's good thought there. Okay. Yeah, we were proud of him until he did come in second, but it's okay, Okay, well, if nobody has anything else and no one with comments or questions, then we'll call it a day. And thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Keith, for taking time to be here. And we always appreciate your wisdoms and thoughts. And Randy but Randy, were you out there? How did your ball season end up? Baseball.
Well, out of the 4 different tournaments that I played in, we took second place in one of them, and we got knocked out in the playoffs in the other 3. So I am still walking, and my arm still works, so that's really good. After playing 32 games in 4 weeks,
that's good.
It's okay. Yep,
that's good. And what's that league?
It's called Men's Senior Baseball League, and it's the World Series tournaments that I was playing in.
And you've been doing this a long time. I know.
Yeah, I've been playing again since '96.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see everybody next Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Time. Thanks, guys.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good week, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.